Hi, welcome to Nexus Consultancy. We provide professional and strategic consultation services specializing in ISO management system standards on quality, environmental, food safety, and many other standards as well. At Nexus Consultancy, we combine our analytical thinking, improvement-centric approach, and results-oriented mindset to help businesses to grow through ISO certifications. Consulting is more than just giving advice. To us, consulting is about building the connection with customers, solving their problems, implementing the change, and at last, helping them to grow. Our company's purpose is very simple, which is to empower business and people. We have dedicated 12 years in helping businesses to grow and also achieve operational process improvement through ISO certifications. Having served thousands of companies, Nexus Consultancy has truly built a legacy in helping customers to achieve long-term business growth. We have served companies from GLCs, SMEs to big corporations from a wide range of industries. We work closely with you to create a customized consultation as unique as you are, offering you a truly value-added service which can fulfill your business needs and objectives. We believe in what we do and we would also like to do it for you.
Hello. Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to our webinar this afternoon, ISO System Automation for Food Manufacturers, 3 steps to standardize your business processes. We are glad that you are here with us this afternoon. My name is Shi. I'm from the Sales and Marketing team of Nexus Consultancy. I'm glad to be your host for today. So before we start out with the webinar, please allow me to briefly introduce a little bit about our company. Nexus Tech is an organization established to provide training and consultancy in all aspects related to management systems like the ISO 9001, various other ISOs, GMP, HACCP, and other certification. Our expertise is available for a wide range of industries such as food industry, manufacturing, construction, medical healthcare, and many more. Like the Nexus Academy is also part of our company that provides soft skills training for team development, personal growth. Our courses are customized based on training analysis, research gap, as well as understanding the needs of your company prior to any sorts of trainings. So it's sort of like a customized training, yeah? Last year, we are honored to be partnered with CIQ from China. We are here to provide a one-stop solution for all your China export consultation needs. Our services include training on China requirements, lab testing for your products, trademark services for your brand both in China and Malaysia, traceability for your products, certification, as well as registration. The industries that we cover are inclusive of food, special food, cosmetics, agriculture, and aquaculture. Next, I would like to introduce our new fresh from the oven product, Nexus ERP Plus. I'm sure we are all aware that due to pandemic situation, lots of things have changed, and part of it would definitely be the new norm where we have to digitalize our working approach. So taking that into consideration, we would like to provide solutions to the businesses out there by incorporating management system with software system, which helps you to automate your business processes while complying to the international best practices. Our Nexus ERP is powered by ERP Next, jointly provided by Nexus, where we have over 14 years of experience in ISO consultancy and training, and our partner Beyond Wave Consulting, which have over 10 years of experience in ERP implementation. And that was a brief introduction about our company, Nexus Consultancy, and together with our partners, we are definitely here to help your businesses grow. So without further ado, I'm pleased to invite our speaker here today, Mr. Cole, As you all can see his profile earlier on, Mr. Koh is our company's management consultant and system specialist that specializes in companies to improve their business processes. In his past records, he has provided numerous trainings and consultations relating to ISO management systems. And today, he's going to share with you guys about the steps to standardize your processes with ISO system automation. So let us hear from our handsome speaker here, Mr. Koh. Good afternoon, Koh. The stage is
Hello. Hi.
yours now. Over to
Thank you.
you.
All right. Thank you so much, Shi, for the introduction. And hello, everybody. Welcome to our webinar on ISO system automation for food manufacturers. All right. So before we start, may I ask a simple question? May I know who is doing food manufacturing here? If your company is doing food manufacturing, can you please type in yes in the comment section? All right. Or just simply put in a 111 in the comment section. If your company is doing food manufacturing, can you please put in 111 or yes in the comment section? Okay, good. All right. So, okay. By the way, just now when I was going through the registration list, right? I was going through the registration list. I noticed that some of you are actually not from the food manufacturing industry. So if your company is doing manufacturing but non-food, other than food, can you also please put in the comment section what is the product that your company is currently manufacturing? Can you also put in what is a product that your company is currently manufacturing? Okay, good. I see some comments. Good to have you guys here. All right, so before we start, please let me assure you that it is totally okay that if your company is not doing any food manufacturing, because even though the title of this webinar is called the ISO System Automation for Food Manufacturers, but I think the content here are very relatable to any manufacturing. All right, so basically in this 1 hour, you will discover, first of all, the 3 simple steps to standardize your business processes, which is something that I think you can immediately implement after the webinar. All right, standardizing business process, I would say it could be the most crucial and most fundamental step when it comes to creating a system. So just I mentioned about process and also system. What are their difference? I will also go through that, and also we'll also be going through the relationship between both. And secondly, I will also share about the 3 most important principles when it comes to creating a system for your business. All right, because the thing is this: you may have the perfect system, you may have the perfect SOP currently in your organization, you may already have your ISO system, all right? But without these principles, I can guarantee that system would not be able to work perfectly, all right? And lastly, I will also introduce to you what is a digital tool that you can actually use to bring your current system to the next level. So are you guys ready? Okay, so let's get started. Every company, all right, so literally every company will have their own pain points or challenges, right, when it comes to managing their business. So here we have gathered the 3 most common pain points or challenges that we have gathered based on our years of experience helping businesses to build their ISO system. Okay, so first of all, as a manager or as a leader in your company, perhaps you feel like you're constantly stuck in your own business. Do you have that feeling? So every day when you wake up, you feel like you just have a never ending to-do list, all right, to attend to, or just you have never ending meetings, all right, to attend to. And by the end of the day, you arrive home and you want to get some rest and you feel exhausted, and you start to think, is there something that you can actually do to just automate, to just delegate, or just perhaps just get rid of some of the tedious tasks you're currently doing? So you are thinking, but before you come up with an idea and before you come up with a solution, you might already fall asleep because your mind or your body are too exhausted. And you wake up the next day, the same old routine happens again. Like documentation, a lot of meetings to attend, like a lot of customer complaints, and more and more and more. So it just never ends. Okay. And secondly, as a manager or as a leader, you notice that everyone in your team seem to have their own preferred way, seem to have their own convenient way for doing same type of task, right? So which causes inconsistencies in your business. Maybe let's just take a food manufacturing business as an example. Let's say in a food quality control department. So imagine some people, okay, in this department, they're using testing method A to do the quality inspection, or then some other people, they're using testing method B to do the quality inspection. If that's the case, what's gonna happen? Of course, it definitely will affect the final quality of the product, right? And subsequently, it might also cause unsatisfied customer, and also might even cause a loss of customers. All right, that is something I hope, I wish, I know you don't want it to happen. And also, pinpoint number three, as a leader, you feel that you're using an outdated system in a new digital world. Probably you have seen some other companies in your industry. It could be your supplier or your competitor. They already adopted something more advanced, or you just heard from your friend that they already started to use something more digital in their industry, not as the same industry as yours. Or you just feel like, okay, you just feel like something out there can definitely help you in any way to make your system better, to make your system automated, but you just do not know what it is yet. All right, it could be a new machine, it could be a new technology, it could be a new software. All right, doesn't matter. You just hope there is something that it would be able to help you, all right, in that situation. Okay, so these are the three pain points that we have just covered. All right, so out of these three pain points, which one is most troubling you right now? Which one out of these three is something that you just can't wait to resolve? Either one, two, or three. If you think which either one of them is very relevant to you, can you please put it in the comment section? Okay, if you think out of these three, which one is most troubling you right now, can you also please put it in the comment section? All right, good. Okay, so if you're encountering one of these three pain points as what we have just covered, as a manager or as a leader for your business, I hope what we are going to cover next will help you in certain ways. I hope that the content that we have prepared here today will be able to just give you some little insights to develop your system, or just make your existing system more efficient, or just simply better. All right, so now here we go, the three desired outcomes when it comes to managing a business. Okay, so first of all, from feeling like you're constantly stuck in your own business, from every day running on a hamster wheel, to having a management system to automatically run your day-to-day processes, whereby you can finally have the chance to, just sit back and just relax a bit, or just even as simple as take a 3 days vacation to wherever, to Penang lah, to Redang, and without actually worrying that when you come back to office, everything will turn upside down. All right. And secondly, from everybody doing things with their own convenient methods, with their own preferred ways, to having standardized system, a standardized processes to generate consistent outputs, to generate consistent results for your company, making your product quality more consistent, making your customer more satisfied, and eventually and hopefully more return customer. I hope everybody wants that, right? And lastly, from using an outdated system in this new digital world to manage your business, to finally having a pandemic proof system, not just managing your business, but even growing your business to the next level. All right. What does it mean? It means no more relying on paper documentation. No more relying on those handwritten signature, the physical signature for your purchase. For whatever that you want to do. For example, during the past lockdown, do you have a system that actually allow your team to work remotely, allowing your business function as usual? Or the whole production, if you're doing food manufacturing, or the whole food production just have to stop due to insufficient raw material, just because the procurement people cannot get the physical or handwritten signature from their boss for you to place a purchase. I know it sounds ridiculous, but don't be surprised. It's actually a real case that we have heard. And I hope that didn't actually happen to you. Okay? All right. So hopefully by the end of this webinar, you are able to just gain some insights on how to achieve the three desired outcomes that we have just gone through. And since we only have 1 hour today, right? So I will try my best to focus on the fundamentals, the foundations, and also the frameworks for creating a system for your business lah. So in case you need any further details, we can always chat more after the session later. Okay. All right. So what are you seeing are basically some of the largest brands and some of the largest companies in the world, right? So when you look at all these biggest companies in the world, what do they have in common? Or perhaps just when it comes to the largest food manufacturer, let's say, okay, example like Nestle, like Tyson Foods, what do they have in common? What do they have in common? Some people may say they have the best brands for their company. Some people may say they have the best quality for their products, right? And some people may say they have the best supply chain, okay, for their distribution. All right. Of course, I would say every company will have those. Okay, every successful company will have those that we have just mentioned. But in order for a company really to grow into that kind of size with hundreds or even thousands of employees, with employees located all around the world with different countries, I would say one of the most contributing and also one of the most crucial part of the whole thing, it will be something called system. All right. So system also means save yourself stress, time, effort, and money. In short, I would say system brings you freedom. Okay. Sometimes when we talk about building system, a lot of business owner, when we mention about building system, right? A lot of business owners, a lot of manager will react like, yeah, no system, no la, no la. It doesn't suit my company. I don't like my company to be fitted into a box. I don't like my people, being not creative. Okay, because to them, the moment they heard this word system or SOP, they will just spontaneously come up with an idea. It is very rigid. It is not flexible. It is not innovative. I would say that would be the biggest misunderstanding that we have come across. And one thing, all right, one thing we always need to understand about building system is system only standardizes business processes. They don't standardize business strategy. They don't standardize your new product development. So when people mention system making their people less creative, less innovative, I would say that is totally irrelevant. Okay. All right. So like mentioned, system standardizes your process, right? So what is a process? So process is defined as as a set of steps that you do more than once. Okay, in a business, for example, if you are going to place an order for raw materials from your supplier, so a process is something how to go about placing that order. We follow up until finally receive that order. It is called a process. Okay, or just maybe I just ask a simple question lah. So maybe a question like, hey, how do you place an order for any item in your company? So automatically your mind will be thinking, okay, so the first step I will get a quotation, and the second step I will raise a PO, and the PO will detail out the specification or the quantity that you need, right? So what your mind is thinking right now is a step 1, step 2, step 3, and step 4, and all the steps. So all these steps combined together is what we call a process. Okay, and what we are trying to do out of standardizing that process is we are trying to improve the effectiveness of the business. So you're trying to improve the effectiveness of your business through making sure that you have got a sequence, you have got a set of steps. Okay, so all these things combined is what we call a process lah. So then what about system? Okay, system is a set of processes, the people, the technology, and also the interfaces. When you put them together, when you combine them together, that is what we call a system. All right. For example, compared to a purchasing process. So just now we talked about purchasing process. Now you want to create a purchasing system instead, no more process, but instead it's a purchasing system. So we already have the process just now, right? The step 1, step 2, step 3 in a sequence. But let's say with system, not only we have to think about the purchasing steps, we have to think about what kind of like technology should we involve, like what kind of digital tool should we use, and what kind of who are the people that we need to involve, who is accountable, and also like what are the interfaces of this purchasing that will interact with other functions within your business, for example, like warehousing, production, etc. Okay, so with that, everything combined together is what we call a a system, while process is there to improve the effectiveness. And I would say system is here to improve the efficiency of your business. Okay, so as mentioned, system save yourself stress, time, effort, and money. So you may ask, how exactly can a system save yourself stress, time, effort, and money, right? So first of all, with system, as mentioned, all the critical processes within your business will be standardized and it will be documented. So with that, I would say your team would definitely be more clear about their own scope of responsibility, their authorities. So basically with system, the manager or the leader, you don't have to supervise your business 24/7 anymore. So it gives you more freedom, right? So secondly, it saves you time. It saves you time through effectively delegating your tasks because you have your SOP, so people can just refer to the SOP to know what are they supposed to do. So because as a manager or as a leader, you don't really have to do all the things by yourself. In business, time is crucial. You can always get more money, but then you cannot get more time. All right. So next, how does having a system save yourself effort? Okay. With system, I would say training a new employee will become way easier compared to not having any procedure, not having any system. Because when a new employee comes in, when they read your procedure, when they read your policies, automatically they will know what are most of the things going on in your business, right? Okay. And lastly, money. With system, I would say everyone will start to follow the best practices that you set for the organization. So it reduces number of defect and also it reduces number of wastage and eventually making your business more profitable. So if you ask how can a system save yourself stress, time, effort, and money, so that would be how. Okay, so Jim Collins, okay, the author of Good to Great book. Okay, anyone read that before? Okay, the author of Good to Great book, Jim Collins once said that a great company, it is only great. It is if it continues to be great without the founder. But for me, I think not just the founder. I truly believe any leader, any manager should always focus about creating that system and also that environment and empower the people and give them the necessary skills to run on the system. All right, and the leader and manager should always, I would say, work on the business and not in the business. Okay, and apart from that, William Everett Zamming, I think anyone who attended any of our ISO training before would know this person. He is basically the inventor of the Plan, Do, Check, Act model, the PDCA framework, and he is also the father of quality management. So he once said that a bad system will beat a good person every single time. So what does it mean? It means you may have the most capable, you may have the most enthusiastic employee in your organization, but if your system is bad, doesn't matter how enthusiastic or how good or how capable the employee is, the best system of yours will definitely eventually and also slowly turn them into a poor performer. Okay, it is just a matter of time. Okay, so all right, now we know it is important for us to have a system already. But before I introduce to you the steps of building a system, I just want to be realistic with you. I'm not going to sell you beautiful dreams. I just want to tell you that building a system really going to take some effort. And I will say it is not something which can be done overnight, okay? And building a system really is a long-term process which requires continuous fine-tuning, continuous improvement, and also continuous alignment between the leaders, between the people who set the system, and also with the people who follow the system, which is the executors. You will need that alignment, okay, always. And if you get the first step right, if you get the first step of building the system right, I can guarantee the following steps will just naturally become easier. So the first step of building a system is to standardize your business process first. So right now, I will be introducing to you the 3 simple steps to standardize your business process. Okay, but before we jump into the first step, right? One of the most common questions that we always get, a lot of people will ask us this question, you know, if you're starting from scratch, if you're starting from zero, they will most likely ask, which process should I start with, or where should I start with? Because let's say if you do not have anything yet, you're just exploring, you do not have any existing ISO system, within a business, you have so many functions, you have so many processes. Let's take an example. Let's say food manufacturing function. As an example, you may already have like raw material planning. You may have manpower planning, your equipment control, etc. Let's say currently you are starting from scratch. You may be wondering, which process you should really start with? Where can you start with, right? So to answer that question, okay, I would say you will need to identify your company's jump shot. Okay, everybody knows jump shot. Okay, so this jump shot concept actually come from basketball. When we play basketball, we want to shoot the ball, so we will have to jump and shoot the ball, right? So that is basically called jump shot lah. Okay, so this jump shot concept in business is to identify the most critical processes inside your business, and we make it consistent, we make it perfect every single time. All right, so talking about this jump shot concept, anyone know this person? Okay, if you know a bit about basketball, definitely you will know this person. Or okay, if you do not know who this person is, definitely once in your lifetime you will hear his name at least once. Anyone knows who is this person? Okay, his name is Michael Jordan, one of the most successful and one of the greatest basketball player of all time. What made him such a great and such a successful basketball player is because of his perfect jump shot. He practiced his jump shot so many times. He practiced and practiced and practiced and practiced until a point he knows it is so perfect that he could always, he is so confident that he could always rely to his jump shot every single time, right? And during the most critical part of the basketball game, during the last few seconds of the game, all his team member would just pass the ball to him, and Michael Jordan would know he could always rely on his jump shot to get the scores. Okay, so that is called jump shot. So putting this jump shot concept into your business right now, okay, what you need to do is you need to think about what are the processes inside your business that you must get it right every single time. Okay, just like what can the jump shot do for Michael Jordan? To you, to your business, it is a process which is so critical that if it's not done correctly, the business would not be able to bear the consequences. That is what we call jump shot. Okay, so before we identify what are the critical processes, what are the jump shot in your business, I think it is important for us to decide what are the critical functions inside your business first. From there, once we identify the function, by the way, the process is a process. One function may have multiple processes. Okay, you could understand function as like a department. So before you identify what process is that, you need to identify what function, okay, is critical inside, let's say, your food manufacturing business. Okay, different business will have different critical functions. All right, so for example, maybe a frozen food, okay, a frozen food business as an example, what are their most critical processes? Okay, most likely it will be the food freezing process, right? Because if let's say they don't get the temperature right, if they don't do the freezing process correctly, it will definitely impact the final quality of the frozen product, right? Or maybe if the storage of the frozen food is not done correctly, maybe the temperature is not done correctly, so it will also affect the product preservation, right? But please keep in mind that every business will have different critical functions. Even within the same industry, let's say food manufacturing industry, you may have different critical functions from your suppliers, right? So, but for your reference, I would say these three would be the most common critical functions for every common business. Okay, so first of all is what we call fulfillment. Okay, so what is fulfillment? If you are doing a food manufacturing business as an example, so fulfillment would include activities such as production, warehouse, QA, QC, etc. But if you are doing a service-based business like us, like Nexus, we are doing consultancy and training and audit services, right? So fulfillment to us, it will be activities such as operation, project, etc. So, and apart from that, you will also need to look into sales and marketing, okay, which is considered one of the critical function for every common business as well. And also lastly, the support function, which include activities such as like HR and admin, procurement, IT, all right, and etc. also. Okay, by the way, if let's say you are starting from scratch, you are starting from zero, I would say if you are in a food manufacturing business, most likely I would say fulfillment scope of function is something you can start with, okay, compared to the other two, okay, because that is something it definitely would directly impact your quality, your product quality. All right, so after you have identified your critical functions and also the critical processes inside your business, then we will jump into step number 2. Okay, so step number 2, it will be standardizing and also documenting the processes which you have identified in step number 1. Okay, standardizing the process basically meaning making the process consistent, okay, and similar every single time. And documenting it simply means writing the process down. You know, writing the process down in the form of like SOP, a process flow. But when we mention things like this, things like that, right? One thing that we always hear from a lot of manager, a lot of leader, they will say, yeah, you know, writing it so troublesome, so mafan. I don't have to write things out, or they will just say it is faster if I do it myself. Okay, of course, as a manager or as a leader, you can do that. But what is the problem with that? Is every time when there's a problem, the manager or the leader would always be the one who solved the problem. So you cannot delegate effectively, right? So if you cannot delegate, you cannot focus on scaling that business. Okay, so in step number 2, after you have standardized the processes and you have set them as a SOP, right? Then you need to tell everybody in your team something like, all right, today we have set this SOP. So starting today, we will need to follow this SOP. Okay, so by the way, SOP stands for Standard Operating Procedures. So it basically means processes which have been standardized and also documented. Okay, so after you have standardized your processes, after you have come up with a procedure, SOP or standardized flow, like something like this flow chart, your team definitely will be more clear about what should they do. And of course, will have less decisions making for them. Okay, and talking about making decisions, you know, here's a fun fact. Every human, okay, you and I, we all make 35,000 decisions every single day. Okay, not 35 decisions, it's 35,000 decisions every single day, consciously and unconsciously. You know, as soon as we wake up from our bed, so like what kind of decision we will make, like what kind, what sugar, how much sugar to put into our coffee. Okay, what breakfast should we eat? Should we just stay in the bed, or should we just continue to, you know, just stay or just wake up from our bed? You know, doesn't matter it's conscious or unconscious decision. Do you know every single decision that we make, it takes up a bit of our energy and it takes up a bit of our time. All right, and resulting what? And resulting lower productivity. So with a standardized flow like this, okay, I would say your team will have more clarity and resulting less decisions for them to make, and things will be executed faster and also improve productivity lah. Okay, so until right now you may say, yeah, you know, talk is easy lah, you know, doing it is another story. You know, I know it's always easier said than done. So maybe let's run through an example. Okay, so what we'll be going through is an example of a standardized process flow for procurement for raw materials for food manufacturing function. So now let's just assume you are the manager or you are the person in charge of the procurement function in your company. Okay, but before you do the purchase, right, of course you have the, you need to have the needs, the needs, some requests for you to purchase, right? So let's just say you receive the request from maybe from warehouse department, from production department, okay, to place a purchase. Maybe they need it for the production purpose. So the first step, it will be like to determine whether the existing supplier can supply that particular item or not, right? So if yes, very simple, you just go straight to obtain the quotation. Okay, what if your current supplier or the suppliers that you have worked with, they cannot supply this material? So what should you do? You should go and look for any other new supplier or not. Okay, but if this process is based on the ISO 9001 system requirements, based on the ISO system, then there's this thing now, what we call new supply evaluation, right? So this new supply evaluation is basically to do some background check on these potential suppliers that you have found. And before you do business with them, you want to find out whether this supplier can be trusted or not, whether you can do business with them or not, because you wouldn't want to end up doing business with a non-trustworthy or a bad reputation supplier, right? Even though some people may say, hey, after we do the evaluation, we can't ensure 100% they are good also. But at least I would say we have done our part, we have done our due diligence, okay, to protect our company's interest, right? So at this step, you will do evaluation. You will evaluate that potential supplier based on few criteria. For example, like quality, pricing, track record, their existing supplier, their financial, etc. Okay, once you have done the evaluation, then you will submit that evaluation report to management to approve whether we can use this supplier or not. If they approve, then you will register them into what we call a approved supplier list. Okay, a approved supplier list is something you list down all the suppliers whereby you have evaluated for your future reference. Because let's say in the future you want to purchase the same item again, then you don't need to redo the evaluation, because you know this supplier can be trusted because they have been evaluated before. Okay, so after that, then the same processor, you get the quotation from the new supplier. Okay, so after you get a quotation, then you submit to management for approval. Okay, if they approve, then very simple, you just raise the PO, then give the PO to the supplier. All right, if they don't approve, then what should you do? You should go and negotiate with the supplier, or just seek for another new supplier lah. Okay, so this one, after the purchase order is raised, then you just submit to the supplier and follow up with on the delivery. And after this, you see the red circles here. So this thing is what we call interface. Okay, as what we have mentioned just now, system stands for what? System is defined as processes, people, technology, and interfaces combined together is what we call system. Because this is the start to end. This is what we call purchasing process. So after the end, we need to identify what is their interrelationship with other function as well. So when you do your SOP, when you do your process flow, please remember you also identify this kind of thing, so that every function will be very clear who is responsible of what. Okay, but okay, as what we have presented to you here, when we present to a lot of other people, to managers, to business owner, they will always ask this question. Okay, they will always ask, hey, why not we just call the supplier and directly place the order? Of course, as a manager or as a leader, you can do that. Okay, they will say it's very troublesome, it's very tedious. Of course, as a manager, you can just directly call the supplier and place the order, no issue. But your business will grow, right? Your business will grow, and your team will have more people. At one point, definitely you will delegate this kind of process to some other people to do the purchase. Okay, if that is the case, how do you ensure, if there's nothing, if your company do not have something like that, how do you ensure that every time when the new employee, when your new team member do the purchasing, they can always purchase the correct item, they can always get the quotation right, they can always do the purchase in a timely manner? Because if you're the manager, it's different story, you care about it. But if you delegate it, how can you make sure they are done correctly every single time? It will be impossible. Just similar to the jump shot concept, can you ensure that this process can be done correctly every single time. So this is the reason why we need to have a process flow or a standard operating procedure for your system. By the way, SOP is just a component, okay, of the whole system of yours, whereby SOP is considered also one of the most crucial component of the system that you build, okay? And now, all right, let's jump into step number 3, which is executing and fine-tuning of the system. Okay, when we begin execution or implementation of the system, right, I would say we just have to accept the fact that the system is not going to be perfect. Okay, definitely there will be some flaws, some improvement area, or just maybe 2 or 3 months after implementation, you feel that you just notice that not everybody is following. Okay, or you just notice some of the steps are not that efficient. Okay, if you encounter or if you feel it that way, let me assure you, it is totally normal. It is absolutely normal, because this is a stage where we do some fine tuning and also do some improvement of your system. Because the thing is this, your system is not going to be like, okay, once you set it, once you build it, it will be forever the same. Okay, our system will need to be consistently fine-tuned, will need to be consistently amended according to our company's latest context. For instance, when there is a new department, when there's a new product or services, when there's a new production line, then we need to amend and also fine-tune the system. Okay, and now, okay, please write this down. It's very important. Plan your execution and execute your plan. I would say this will be the most crucial of the entire part of creating a system for your company. Okay, plan your execution, meaning discuss with your team members what are the critical processes inside your business, which you need to standardize right now and set them as your SOP. Okay, but some people may, okay, some of you may have already a system, may already have the ISO system or whatever procedure or SOP you have. I can say as a manager or as a leader, you are never going to hit a point where you can just say, okay, my job is done here, everything runs automatically. Okay, I will just I just do whatever I like. Okay, that is not going to happen, because after you have set up the system, you will still need to ensure that your team are always aligned with the system that you have established. Because if no one is executing, okay, or no one is implementing as per the system, everything goes back to zero. So executing what you have set up in the first place is very, very, very crucial. Okay, please remember. Now you have learned about the 3 simple steps, okay, which you can take immediately after the webinar to standardize your business process and creating your system. So now let's go through the 3 principles of creating a system for your business. Okay, so first principle is leading by example. So what is leading by example? So talking about leading by example, I want to use this true story which happened in this company called Lenovo. I guess everybody knows Lenovo, right? They are the largest computer maker in the whole world right now. I'm also using a Lenovo laptop right now. So the story goes like this. Okay, one day there was a new employee. Okay, his name is Chang lah. So that was the first day he reported to work. Okay, so when he reported to work during the orientation, I think just like your company, you also do orientation for new employee, right? So the manager will brief during the orientation. The manager will just brief Chang lah, whatever company's rules, whatever procedure or whatever policy that Lenovo has, right? And by the end of the orientation, the manager told Chang, he told Chang's like, Chang, in Lenovo, there's something you have to remember. Then Chang asked what it is. Then the manager told Chang, in Lenovo, you have to be very punctual. You have to always come to the meeting on time. So to Chang, he was very curious, because he never, specifically heard that during his past experience. He never heard that, specifically mentioned during the orientation process. So he thought, okay lah, he didn't really put that in mind, because to him, Chang, he himself is a very punctual. he himself is a person who gets the timing very correct. So he always goes everywhere on time. He knows that it will be no issue to him. All right, so he just he just simply listen to that, and he never really remember very clearly. So one day afternoon, there was a urgent meeting, and Chang was required to join the meeting also. But he accidentally forgot about the meeting. Okay, and by the time he recalled it, suddenly he recalled he had a meeting to attend. So he rushed to the meeting room. He just ran to the meeting room, and when he opened the door, everyone just stared at him. Everyone just looked at him, and he looked at his watch. Then he realized he was 3 minutes late. Okay, so he looked at everybody. It was so quiet that he didn't even dare to make a move. So he looked around, and he saw there was an empty seat at the end of the table lah. So the second he wanted to walk towards that empty seat, right? So suddenly the meeting chairman, there was a host. Okay, the host mentioned stop Chang. So he said, Chang, please hold on. You are late to the meeting. So according to our company policy, you are required to stand in your seat for 3 minutes. So Chang heard that, listened to that. He was very embarrassed because to him, he only knew when during school time we only stand. Okay, who actually do that? In the office, in a workplace. Okay, so he was very embarrassed. So, but nothing he could do. He just stand at his seat for 3 minutes, and after that he gets seated lah. So he was quite embarrassed. So after the meeting, everyone dismissed. So he wanted to walk out to the office. Suddenly, the manager who gave the orientation to Chang, walked by to Chang. Then he told Chang that, okay, it's okay. Do not be too mindful of what happened just now. Do not be too concerned. Okay. And Chang asked, why? Le? Then the manager told Chang, our company's founder, Mr. Liu Chuanzi, also once stood in the meeting room. Then Chang heard that. He was very surprised. What? Even the boss also required to stand? What kind of theory is that? Okay, so then the manager further explained. Now the boss came late to the meeting because he was stuck in the lift. Because the lift was broken down. So he further explained to Lenovo. Okay, whatever being said, there will be no exception for the people who set the rules. Okay, even for the boss himself. So then he tell Chang, do not be too mindful, do not be too concerned, because to most people, right, when we mention this, to most people, a lot of people would think, hey, being late to meeting is just a tiny matter. It's just something that most people wouldn't even care, right? But to Lenovo, it's not just about being late to meeting. It's about the values, about the principles for the whole company. Okay, it's about the leader being the good example, setting a good example for the things that they have set for the company, and for the policy they have set for the company. I'm not saying you should always set, you should also set this kind of rules. Okay, I'm not saying you should ask your people to stand if they come late to meeting, but the point that we are trying to make here is, no matter what rules, no matter what SOP, no matter what policies that the company or the management have already implemented, they are not just for the people who, they are not just for the employees, they are not just for the people who do the execution of the work. This kind of rule, it applies to everybody, including the manager, the leader, or the supervisor, or just like Lenovo, even the boss himself also have to follow. When it comes to having a system, the leader should always set as an example, including setting a system for your organization. Okay, and next principle is about execution lies in the division of responsibilities. So what does it mean? It means in order to have an effective system, everyone should be very clear about their own roles, about their own responsibility when running that system, because everybody's business is nobody's business. Right? It doesn't mean only one person can do that specific type of task. No, it doesn't mean that way. Okay, it doesn't mean it doesn't mean you can only have one person doing one type of job. No. Okay, so you could have multiple people doing the same type of job, but you need to at least identify one accountable person. So this accountable person would hold the most responsibility will hold the highest responsibility to ensure that everything runs according to what was set in the first place. All right. So right now, let me ask you a simple, super simple mathematic question. Okay, 1 + 1 + 1 equals to what? Can everybody please type in the answer in the comment section? Okay, don't worry, I'm not going to try. I'm not trying to trick you. So it's just a super simple mathematic question. Can you please put in the answer in the comment section? 1 + 1 + 1 equals to what? It equals to 3, right? I know even a 3-year-old can answer to that. But when it comes to management, right? Okay, that is a mathematic, okay? But when it comes to management, 1 + 1 + 1 doesn't necessarily become 3. Okay, meaning you have 3 person doesn't mean you can multiply the output times 3. Why is that? You know, okay, talking about this, I want to use another story. During old times, right? During old times, if in a village if you need water, what you should do, you should get the wooden bucket, then you go and fetch the water from the well. Okay, I bet you have seen those scenes in the movies or in drama. So they will just pull the water out from the well. So during that time, there was this saying: one monk will shoulder 2 buckets of water, and when it comes to 2 monks, they will share the same amount of workload. Okay, and adding a third one, okay, nobody will fetch the water anymore. Okay, why is that? Why is that? Okay, basically the story is telling everything runs normally, everything runs perfectly fine when only one person is accountable to do the task. All right, there are only one person feel responsible. Okay, but when you add another person, okay, you still get the work done, but they share the same amount of workload with the same amount of accountability and generating the same amount of output. And again, when you add a third one, nobody feels accountable anymore. Why is that? This actually happens in a lot of I hope that doesn't happen in your business, but the moral of the story is everybody just doesn't want to be taken advantage. This is just human being human. It's nothing wrong about the people. It's just a system. Like for example, I'm expecting you to do and you're expecting him to do, and he is expecting me to do. Everybody just expecting each other, and forever nothing gets done. So when it comes to a business system, it is the same. As a manager or as a leader, when we set our system, when we establish our system, we should ensure that every team member is clear about their own roles, responsibilities, and authorities. Otherwise, doesn't matter how good your system is, the people just won't follow. All right, the people just won't implement as per the system, because it's not the people fault. It's a fault of the system that make the people not following. Okay, just like William Everett Deming, as a quote just now in the beginning, a bad system will beat a good person every single time. Okay, so remember, system isn't about just procedure. They are not just about having processes. They are not just about having a stack of documentation telling what you should do. No, it's not about that. It's about the process. It's about the people. It's about the technology. It's about the interfaces. When you combine them together, that is called a system. All right. So remember, principle number 2: execution lies in the clear division of responsibilities. Okay. And lastly, the last principle, it will be, when we set our system, we should always make it simple but significant. Try to make our system as direct as possible, as straight to the point as possible, because when we do a lot of ISO projects, so we help companies to set up a lot of ISO system. So some manager, they will have this misunderstanding. They will think having more procedure, they will think having more SOP would indicate their business is larger. It will indicate they are busier. They will indicate they are more productive. All right, it is totally wrong. Okay, it's totally wrong to think that way, because having a system, we should make it as lean as possible. It's not about how much procedure you have. It's about how effective it is. All right. Albert Einstein once said that any intelligent fool can make things bigger, and more complex, but it takes a touch of genius to move that into the opposite direction. Okay, so right, so now we have covered the 3 steps and also the 3 principles for creating a system for your business. So now let's say you already, okay, let's say you already have an existing system, you already have your procedure in place, you already have the ISO system implemented, but maybe, just maybe, you'll be noticing the people sometimes they follow, sometimes they don't follow, or you just notice some of them carry out their works too manually. You just feel that the operation is not efficient enough, or you feel that your system relies on too much of documentation. Okay, if that is what happening to you, perhaps what we are going to cover next will help you to maybe to make your system more digital, to make your system more automated, or just making your system to enable your business to grow into the next level. Sounds good? All right. Okay. Now, the old way of creating and maintaining a system, we use a lot of what? You know, traditionally, when we talk about creating system, of course, unavoidable, we need to have a lot of documentation, we need to have a lot of records, because when it comes to having a system and maintaining a system, we will need those records, right? Unavoidably, we will need to have records, and also as a evidence, and also as a future reference. Okay, because as a evidence that the people are actually implementing as per the system. Okay, but ended up, you just have tons of documentation, sitting in the office collecting dust. I would say that is really a traditional way of having a system and maintaining a system already, because what? Because we are now in 2022. A lot of businesses have already started to shift their processes from offline to online. Okay, from a lot of paperwork to paperless. Okay, but of course, I'm not saying you should bring 100% of your processes. If you're doing food manufacturing, of course, impossibly you can bring 100% of what you do into online, right? It's just like a haircut business. Okay, a lot of business talk about bringing offline to online. Okay, but a lot of things just cannot done online. So example, your food manufacturing business, you cannot bring your 100% of your processes online. So what can we do? Have we thought about just bring 30%, just 30% of your processes online, or make it more automated, make it more digitalized, and make it more efficient? Just imagine with that 30%, how much time, how much energy, and how much manpower it could save for you. Right? Not just that, when it comes to managing people, when it comes to managing processes, okay, for a smaller size company, let's say your company is just 5 to 10 people, of course, managing people the issue of managing people will not be so significant. Why? Because, of course, the manager would know everything happening in the company, right? But what if your business starts to grow from 10 to 20 to 30 to 40 to 40 to 50, or even to 100? Okay, I would say no way the manager or even the boss himself would be able to know exactly what everybody is doing in the company, whether they are doing their job according to the standard way. All right, it's impossible. That is why when the team, or when the operation starts to grow, right, you should always start to look into you should always start to leverage the available technology in the market, and also start to leverage the digital tool in the market to run your system efficiently, to grow your business efficiently. Okay, and also using an outdated system, as mentioned, of one of the 3 pain points in managing business. Using an outdated system in this new digital world is one of the biggest challenges faced by many small and medium businesses in Malaysia nowadays. So just like what she have introduced in the beginning, we have Nexus Tech have successfully developed our ERP software called Nexus ERP Plus, and it is powered by ERP Next to help businesses to reach their greater heights through digitalizing and also automating their system. Okay, let's how to automate, how to digitalize. Maybe let's just use one example. just use the same example as we use in step number 2, which is doing procurement for your raw material for your food manufacturing industry. So this is an example we talk about in step number 2. Maybe just let's use this example for ERP. All right. So I would say having something like that, having something like this is still considered quite manual, all right, quite manual way for doing procurement. Sorry for saying that, but still I would say having this kind of SOP, having this kind of process flow, having this kind of procedure would already indicate that your business is more systemized, is a lot more better than a lot of businesses out there already. Okay, it will be indicate that you are putting an efforts to make your process standardized and consistent. But the thing is this, even though we say it is a standardized flow, but manual execution sometimes would carry errors. They will create errors, human errors or whatever errors. Okay, for example, let's just take an example. Just now we say, okay, in this step, right, step number 1, warehouse department would need to continuously monitor the stock level, okay, to ensure that the production always have sufficient raw material for their production purpose, right? So warehouse will need to continuously go to the warehouse, physically check, one by one the storage rack, and check, do the recording and whatsoever. So then after that, okay, it's lower than the limit level already. So the warehouse people told the procurement people, okay, so we are low on stock, you need to order. Okay, but the procurement people just forget about it. Okay, maybe they have too many works to do. They have, they just accidentally forgot. Then it causes delay of placing of that order. Then it causes delay of what? Delay of incoming raw material, and it causes delay of production, and it might causes you delay of delivery to your customer, and also delay of what? A lot of things will be delayed, and also even worse, it might cause you loss of customers. That is something that we wouldn't want. So you see the dominoes effect. Okay, the dominoes effect is, to you, okay, to most people, it may seem like such a tiny thing, right? But when you relate it to the subsequent process, it could create an impact which your business would not be able to bear. So that is something we do not want. So with ERP, how can it help? Let's say with ERP right now, first of all, talking about monitoring. Now the warehouse do not have to go and every day go and check the stock level already, because the ERP system can automatically real time detect if the stock level is lower than the limit level. They will know, okay, they will automatically detect and send the trigger to procurement. Okay, without actually warehousing have to send email or have to raise a request. No more of that, because ERP will automatically and also instantly send the trigger to procurement, and procurement will receive a notification. And if the procurement forgets about that, then the notification will keep popping out in their system to remind them they need to place the order. That is how ERP can help. All right, maybe just let's take another example. Let's say you receive a quotation from your supplier. So the manual way, it will require you to send forward the quotation one by one to your management, and also you do the comparison by the management, right? Then only you decide which supplier to use. Okay, but with ERP, how can it help is, with ERP, when you receive the quotation, it will be automatically forwarded to the management. That even will help you to do the comparison, okay, digitally, and even they will suggest you which one is the most ideal supplier based on that comparison. So it will save a lot of work for you. Okay, so you do not have to worry about placing the order late again. You don't have to worry about missing out that quotation or this quotation. No more of that. And most importantly, I would say with ERP, with our ERP Plus, with this process from start until the end, I would say most importantly, and the thing that I like about the most about ERP is you do not even have to keep a single paper. Okay, you no longer have to keep a paper invoice, you no longer have to keep a PO, you no longer have to keep a quotation, hard copy quotation, because everything, literally everything, 100% will be recorded, will be traceable and accessible in the system. Okay, and with just few clicks away in the system, the business owner or the leader or the manager can instantly know the business performance. For example, you can instantly know what is the stock level, what is the existing stock level, what is inventory level. You can already know instantly without actually having keep asking the warehouse people to go and check. Hey, can you go and check the stock level? Which is time consuming, and sometimes it create errors also, because with physical inspection it creates error, but with ERP you cannot run away, right? So that is an example of how ERP can help when it comes to procurement, okay, for a food manufacturing business. But of course, not just procurement, it is able to say, help in many more other processes. Let's say production, okay, maintenance, QA/QC, everything will be digitalized and systemized, and also making it more efficient. Okay, so now to sum it up, according to the survey done by Forbes, it says that 56% of CEOs say that digital improvement have led to increased revenue for their company, and 64% of digital first means digital focus. Digital focused companies are likely to achieve their business goals than their peers. Okay, I would say, we have come to an era, we have come to a generation whereby, as a human being, everybody, we are not able to survive without an internet, without our phone, without our laptop. Do you agree? Not because we need them for our entertainment purpose, but because we need them for our daily work. Okay, we need them to carry out our work. Okay, just like this webinar. So the same concept applies to business nowadays. Okay, we have come to an era whereby businesses just wouldn't be able to survive without digitalization. Okay, 2 years ago, I would say a lot of people would say, 2 years ago, a lot of people would say digitalization is about transformation. But today, I would say digitalization is a survival. Okay, because as you know, the COVID-19 pandemic has caused a lot of things to advance than how they should. So today, I would say digitalization is about survival. It's about keeping up with your competitors. Okay, and and I would say today we only have 1 hour, so we really do not have the sufficient time to do the detailed demo here. But if you're interested, I would like to invite you to hop on to our discovery call. It's free, okay. And from there, okay, if you're even more interested, we can do a free demo for you to show you how exactly in detail how this ERP can help you in your operation, making your business more efficient, making it more digital, and hopefully more profitable. All right, so that's all from me so far. I would like to pass it back to our MC, Shi. Over back to you. Thank you.
All right. Thank you so much, Ko, for your informative session. We are grateful that you are sharing your knowledge and your experiences, and many of us are definitely benefiting from the sharing today. So guys, if you have any question for Ko, please feel free to write down in the YouTube comments right now, so that we would, we will answer your questions later, yeah? So as Ko mentioned earlier on, before we proceed to the Q&A session, we have a good news for those of you who have stayed throughout with us. We have a complimentary discovery call on ISO system automation. If you're not sure whether this is the right time to move towards digitalization for the time being, instead of bombarding you with tons of information right here, so why not we jump on a quick discovery call so that we can understand better your business operation, your needs, okay, your business needs, and you can make a better decision thereafter. So feel free to take out your phone right now, okay, scan the QR code and register yourself for the free slots, yeah? Or alternatively, you can always refer to the link in the comments box, okay, for the booking later on. Okay, so all right, without further delay, let us welcome Mr. Ko back for the Q&A session. So feel free to put into the comment box, guys, for the questions. Hi, Ko.
Hello.
Where is the, okay, let us just look into this first question from SC Heng. Where is the cloud ERP hosted?
Okay. Our Nexus ERP Plus is actually hosted in a cloud platform called Frappy with a server. They have a server located in Paris, France. So this Frappy also complies with GDPR, which is the General Data Protection Regulation. and they are also certified with ISO 27001, which is the information security management system. So with that, I would say this is 100% secure and safe lah.
I see. Okay. Next question. Okay, from Miss Wee Fang. Okay, is the ERP software closed based on is based on premise cloud based or on premise? Sorry. Okay.
Okay, so our ERP Plus is 100% cloud-based, which allows user to access the system anytime from anywhere lah.
Okay, next one. Okay, from the similar participant. Okay, how long it takes to implement the ERP system approximately?
Okay, averagely, I would say it take about 6 to 8 months with standard customization. But if you have more customization, then it will definitely take longer.
I see. Okay. Next question. Okay. From Miss Celine. Okay, I already have the SOP, but my employee just don't want to follow the SOP. What can they do? Okay.
Okay, I would say 50% of the problems are caused by misalignment between the people who set the SOP and also the people who actually follow that SOP. We have actually seen some leaders or some manager, when they ask their people to follow the SOP, they just pass a stack of documentation to them and expecting them to follow whatever stated there and just do exactly what they should do. All right, so I would say that is not a correct way, because first of all, the people, they don't understand why they should follow. Everything starts with an why, right? So if they don't understand the purpose, I would say the likelihood they follow voluntarily would even become lower lah. So not just passing them a stack of documentation. I think leaders or managers should always brief them about the true purpose of having this kind of system, or maybe just brief them like where are your companies heading to, so that they could understand, so they could be aligned with your system lah. Hope that helps.
Okay. Wait, how much does it cost to implement ERP Plus?
Okay, all right. So the costing of implementation of ERP software will be different for different business and different organization lah. Okay, and I would say the costing would heavily depend on some few factors. Okay, first of all, is the amount of customization for the software. That's one, and I would say it also depends on the number of users you need to subscribe, and also the size of the company, and also at last the subscription of the modules you need within the ERP software, because you have a lot of modules. The more modules you use, the more expensive it will become lah. But I would say our Nexus ERP Plus is considered one of the most cost-effective ERP software in Malaysia market right now, because our purpose is to help SMEs, to help small medium businesses to go for digitalization. So we have positioned and also priced the product, make and ensure that it is affordable by all the small medium food manufacturer in Malaysia. Okay, but anyway, if anyone would like to know about the details in terms of price, I will always suggest maybe you can do the discovery call with us. It's free. Then from there we can give you the details, the price details better lah. Okay, but I can say we have done the survey. It's about 70% cheaper than most of the big ERP brands out there. Example, if they're selling 400 or 500, then ours will be priced around 100 plus, which is considered very, very, it's a very cost-effective price. Okay.
Okay. All right, next one. Okay, another question related to ERP. I already have ISO 9000. If you implement ERP, do I need to redo my procedures?
Okay, basically you don't need to redo your procedure, your ISO 9001 procedure, because our ERP Plus is already specially customized to suit the ISO 9001 requirements. Meaning that with implementation of ERP Plus, your company is already ready to go for ISO 9001 certification audit lah. Okay, so you don't to answer back that question, you don't have to redo your procedure. We just need some minor amendment to ensure how you operate that ERP, and that will be part of our implementation as well. So you do not need to worry about that. Okay.
All right. Any more questions, guys? Please feel free to drop in the comment box. We are more than glad to assist you to answer your queries. All right. I guess that was the last question from the comment box, Mr. Ko. We are also, the time allocated has come to an end. I think we have, way past the time as of now.
Sorry
So
about that.
thank you for the session, for the sharing. Actually, it was
Thank you,
very
Shi.
informative, definitely. Okay. So,
Yeah.
all right, guys, no worries. Okay. As I mentioned, we apologize. The time allocated has come to an end. We definitely hope we have more time for this, but we do not want to take up so much of our precious time as we have way past the time, as I mentioned earlier. So thank you for your questions. Okay. I hope the speaker has answered most of your queries. So aside from today's topic, we have another webinar on the know-how for exporting supplements to China coming up on 11 May 2022. Same timing at 2 p.m. Do feel free to join us in this session. We are more than glad to see you all again. Okay. All right. If you have more questions, okay, on ERP system, okay, on the ISO system automation, don't worry. You can always reach us for any inquiries or direct contact. The numbers you can actually see on the screen right here. Okay. And if you want to keep yourself up to date for various info and latest industry news, please do check us out on our website and also our social media platforms. All right. With that, I would like to thank everyone for your precious time here today again. Okay. I hope you had a wonderful session and a fruitful takeaway today. Okay. Have a good day ahead, and I hope to see you guys again soon. Bye bye.